For 2 years, her grave had never known peace. Every single night, without fail, the village dogs would gather there, barking, growling their teeth, flashing in the moonlight as if they could see something no human could. Some whispered it was a curse, others said her spirit was restless, but no one knew the truth, that the man who cried the loudest at her funeral, the son she loved with all her heart, was the very one who sent her to that grave. And soon the dogs will reveal his darkest secrets. Mrs. Helen was the heart of Greenfield Village, a kind, hardworking widow who raised her only son David with everything she had. She had lost her husband early in life, but instead of giving up, she worked on people's farm, sold vegetables in the market, and even sold the small piece of land her late husband left her, all to make sure David could go to school and have a bright future. The villagers often said, if there's any mother who deserves a long happy life, it's Helen. To her, David was not just a son, he was her pride, her joy, and her only hope. She prayed for him every morning and every night, asking God to bless him. But after David moved to the city, his heart changed. He met a strange old man who promised him instant wealth on one condition: he must sacrifice someone who loved him deeply. The words of the old man cut into David's soul. He thought of his mother, her endless love, her trust in him, and that trust became her weakness. That weekend, David returned to the village. His visit was full of smiles and laughter. He hugged his mother tightly, showered her with gifts, and said, "Mama, I have missed you so much." Mrs. Helen's eyes lit up with joy. She felt blessed to have such a caring son. But in David's bag was something deadly, a small bottle of poison given to him by the old man. That night, as his mother served him dinner, he secretly poured the poison into her food. She ate happily, telling him stories of his childhood, never knowing each bite was taking her closer to her last breath. Before dawn, her body grew cold. By morning, the news spread: Mama Helen is gone. David screamed, fell to the ground, and wept loudly. The villagers gathered to comfort him, believing his grief was genuine. But deep inside, David knew he had just buried the one person who truly loved him. The funeral was like no other in Greenfield Village. David cried so much that two men had to hold him back from jumping into the grave. "Mama, Mama, take me with you," he wailed, his voice breaking in pain. Old women shook their heads in pity, whispering, "This boy truly loved his mother." Some even offered him food and money, saying, "Use this to heal your heart, son." But David's heart wasn't broken. It was heavy with guilt and fear. The ritual had worked. Within weeks of the burial, money began to pour into his life. He bought a big house in the city, luxury cars, and dressed in expensive clothes. Whenever he returned to the village, the people admired him, thinking their poor David was finally blessed by God. But the peace he expected never came. Every night he stayed in the village, he noticed something strange. At exactly midnight, dogs from different parts of the village would gather at his mother's grave. They would bark, growl, and scratch at the soil, their eyes growing in the darkness. At first, David thought it was normal. Maybe they were chasing rats, but the barking grew worse with time. The dogs would not leave until morning, and no one could chase them away. Whispers began to spread. That grave is not ordinary. Those dogs are seeing something we can't see. Some elders even said a grave that attracts dogs every night is a grave holding a secret. One rainy night, David had a terrifying dream. He saw his mother standing in his bedroom doorway, her eyes filled with tears, her lips pale. She spoke in a trembling voice. "David, why? I gave you my life and you gave me death. The earth will not hide what you did." He woke up sweating, his heart racing, only to hear dogs barking loudly outside as if they were calling his name. The following week, the barking reached its peak. The dogs began digging at the grave furiously, their paws tearing through the wet soil. Curious villagers gathered around with lanterns. The more they watched, the more they realized the dogs were uncovering something. When the soil shifted enough to reveal the coffin lid, gasps and screams filled the air. Scattered around the coffin were strange red clothes, bones and shams, the very same items David had used for the ritual. The elders looked at each other in shock. "This is no ordinary burial," one of them said. "The spirit of Helen is using these dogs to speak." And in that moment, David knew his darkest secret had just been dragged into the light. The graveyard became silent as the truth sank in. Villagers turned their eyes toward David, their faces filled with disgust and anger. Someone shouted, "You killed your own mother for money." Another spat at his feet. David tried to deny it, but the charms, the bones and the red clothes told the story louder than his words ever could. The elders ordered that he be tied up immediately. The police were called, and before sunrise, David was taken away in handcuffs. As he was dragged through the village, the dogs followed, barking non-stop, their eyes fixed on him like guards delivering justice. From that day, the dogs never returned to Helen's grave. The nights became peaceful again, but the memory of the son's wickedness never faded from the hearts of the villagers. Moral lessons. Greed can blind a person until they destroy the very hands that fed them. A mother's love is sacred. To betray it is to curse your own destiny. Evil may hide for a while, but truth will always find a way to come out. The blessings we seek through wickedness will only turn into our destruction. Thank you for watching this story to the end, my dear viewers. If this story touched your heart, please subscribe to my channel, like this video, and share it so others can learn from it. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss another powerful, emotional and suspense-filled story. Stay tuned. More unforgettable stories are coming your way. God bless you. Mwah.